In this video, let's give a closer look at the backstory and journey of Syndrome from the first Incredibles movie. His real name is Buddy Pine, and he was born in the late 1930s. As a kid, Buddy had a huge admiration for superheroes, especially Mr. Incredible. To Buddy, Mr. Incredible wasn't just a hero, he was everything he dreamed of being. He idolized him so much that he even fantasized about fighting crime together side by side. He didn't just want to be Mr. Incredible's sidekick, he wanted to be part of the action in his own right. In fact, he took it so far that he gave himself the name Incrediboy.
Who are you supposed to be?
Well, I'm Incrediboy!
However, things didn't go as he had hoped. Mr. Incredible wasn't interested in having a sidekick, and he ended up rejecting his attempts to help. This broke his heart. One of the most pivotal moments in their relationship occurred when Buddy tried to help Mr. Incredible during a fight with a villain called Bomb Voyage. Buddy meant well, but his interference almost led to a disaster. Mr. Incredible, understandably frustrated, scolded him for stepping in and sent him home with the police. That was the last time Buddy saw his hero. After that, everything changed. The world of superheroes was banned, and Buddy was left feeling even more abandoned. The rejection by his idol planted deep seeds of resentment in his heart. The admiration that once burned brightly inside him turned to bitterness. Instead of staying a loyal fan of Mr. Incredible, Buddy became obsessed with getting revenge. From that point on, he stopped being a fan of Mr. Incredible and started focusing all his energy on becoming his worst nightmare. 15 years later, he transformed into a brilliant yet twisted inventor. Using his genius, he designed high-tech weapons, but instead of trying to be a hero, his focus shifted to something darker. He wanted to prove he was better than the heroes he once admired. His obsession with revenge grew stronger each day, pushing him to create a whole new persona for himself, Syndrome. He didn't work alone though. He had an agent named Mirage, a mysterious and charming woman who helped carry out his plans. Together, they lured superheroes to his isolated island, where he set deadly traps for them. The trap was a robot called the Omnidroid, an incredibly powerful creation that was designed specifically to take down superheroes. Each time a hero defeated the Omnidroid, Syndrome would send out an upgraded version, ensuring their inevitable defeat. No hero was safe, and it didn't take long before Syndrome had taken out many of the world's greatest heroes. But his thirst for revenge wasn't just about taking down any hero, it was about getting back at Mr. Incredible. He was still bitter about the rejection he had faced all those years ago, and now he wanted to make Mr. Incredible pay for crushing his dreams. He killed a lot of heroes along the way, and each life taken only made his desire for revenge grow stronger. Then, things took a turn. Mirage discovered Mr. Incredible's secret identity, his real name, Bob Parr. That was the moment Syndrome knew the time for his revenge had finally come. But this time, the situation was different. Mr. Incredible wasn't the same superhero who had inspired him as a child. He was now a middle-aged man, struggling to relive his past glory days. On the other hand, Syndrome had grown more powerful than ever. With cutting-edge technology at his disposal, he was at the peak of his power, and everything he had planned for years was finally ready to unfold. It was time to confront the hero who had once rejected him, but this time, things would end very differently. As we know, Mr. Incredible eventually falls into his trap on the island. When the two come face to face for the first time in all these years, it's a moment filled with tension and shock.
Sure, it was difficult, but you are worth it. I mean, after all,
I am your biggest fan. Buddy?
Mr. Incredible can hardly believe his eyes. The boy he had once rejected and dismissed is now standing in front of him as a ruthless villain. For Syndrome, this is the ultimate moment of satisfaction. He's finally got the hero who once turned him away at his mercy, and it feels like a long-awaited victory. During their tense conversation, Syndrome reveals that he became incredibly wealthy by selling his inventions to the highest bidder. But what's even more chilling is that he knows the weaknesses of all those inventions, including the ones designed to take down superheroes. At one point, He almost kills Mr. Incredible, showing just how deep his hatred runs. It's not enough for Syndrome to defeat him. He wants to completely break him, both physically and mentally. His ultimate plan is to send the Omnidroid to attack the city, then swoop in and save the day, presenting himself as the new hero while leaving Mr. Incredible in the dust. However, things don't go according to plan. His scheme fails, and he is left humiliated and defeated. In a desperate attempt to salvage his reputation and show that he still has power, he tries to kidnap the Par's baby, Jack Jack. He hopes to mold Jack Jack into the sidekick he was once denied, a way of taking back what he lost. But as we know, things don't go as planned. Jack Jack's unexpected and uncontrollable powers completely throw Syndrome off guard. And here's where things get truly tragic for Syndrome. We've all heard Edna Mode's warning about capes not being safe, and it's a moment that proves just how right she was, because Syndrome's cape gets caught in the jet turbine of his own plane, leading to his gruesome death. It's a moment of bitter irony, as his obsession with being a hero, and his need to control everything, ends up being the very thing that causes his downfall.